Welcome to Home Ridge Studio. My name is Cheryl. I wanted to come on here real quick in person and just thank each and every one of you for supporting my channel. Whether you're just stopping by now or you've been there all along, I appreciate each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. My channel has grown a lot this year and it's because of you. And also, today is December 31st of 2025, so it's the last day of the year, and I'm going to leave you with a video, whether you watch it tonight or you watch it tomorrow on New Year's Day. I hope you enjoy it. It is the top 12 DIYs or crafts from 2025. So I picked one from January, one from February, one from March, all the way through December, and that's why there's 12 of them. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, could you do me a really big favor and hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, because if you hit the bell notification, you will be notified every time I post a video. So with all that being said, let's get into the video.
This is a wall hanger, and if you make it, here's some pieces you'll need. I have this MDF heart that I bought from the Dollar Tree a couple years ago, and this I thrifted this foam circle for $1 the other day. I had the flowers already, and I also had the scrapbook paper that actually matches those flowers really well. And I was going to try to incorporate that ribbon, but I didn't. I used a different ribbon. So I'm going to remove this piece here, and I'm going to save it because I'm going to put it back on here later. It was really easy to remove. I didn't have to take the blow dryer to it like I normally do. And then I just ripped off the rest of the paper that came off there, and I'm just going to take my glue stick and run it around the edge first really well, and then around, all over the whole piece. And this paper fit on perfectly. I mean, if it were just slightly smaller, it wouldn't have worked. So I lucked out here. So I put that on there, and I just took my brayer and I pushed out all that glue. And now I have my cutting tool here, and I'm just cutting off the edges. And now I have my little finger cutter here, and I'm going to cut out the top triangle. I don't know why I'm showing you that I'm cutting all this stuff out. I know you guys know how to cut. I must have just not edited out. Sorry about that. Hopefully there's some good background music though for you to enjoy while you're watching this. So I opened this up, and I could kind of tell it was old, when I thrifted it. The form, the circle, whatever this is called, I'm not sure. Because the packaging just seemed a little discolored. It was clean, it was just discolored, like it had been laying around for a while. And then as you saw there, when I tried to cut it, it just kind of snapped because it's just old. But it worked fine, so I'm happy with that. So I just cut it in half and glued it up on top there because I want to have some flowers coming out of the top of the heart. So, like I said, this piece you can leave out all year. This is kind of a shabby chic type, Victorian type piece. You don't have to put the love word in the middle like I did. I just did it because I had it. You could put many different things in the middle, and I'll show you that in a second. And I'm just putting 2 rows of these roses here. They're kind of like a cream color with just a hint of pink. And I'm just filling it up, making it a little bit more fuller. But the other ones I could stick in. The stem was too short, so I had hot glue it right onto the piece, just to give it the fullness that I wanted it to be. But I'm showing you here, you can put welcome, family. You can paint that or stain it. That would be nice. Dollar Tree has these. You can do that. There's endless, you can even write your own word in there. But because I have this one that I took off this piece, I am going to put that on there. And yeah, I'm using that little rubber spatula because metal gets really hot when you put hot glue on it. Ask me how I know. Yeah, one too many times I've done that. Now I have this, I'm not quite sure exactly what it's called, but it is a wire. It is a wrapped wire. It's wrapped in paper. I think I got it from the Dollar Tree a long time ago. They had 3 different colors, but I haven't seen it since. So I just wrapped it around the pencil and then pulled it apart and then poked it into the foam in the back, hot glued it, and now I'm just taking a little bit of masking tape here to hold it on better. And this is what it looks like. And you can always put craft paper on the back there too to help hold that in also as well. Oh, and there's the bow that I put on there. It's just like a little gray bow. I had it in my stash, and then I just put some twine in the middle there. I just wrapped it around my fingers, and voila. And here's what I have for this piece. I have this cutting board. It was 50% off at Hobby Lobby. I couldn't resist, you guys, even though I'm supposed to be crafting out of my stash. I am mostly, but I did get that cutting board, and I've had these napkins for quite a while, and I wanted to use them on something because I think they're really cute. And then I've had this heart from the Dollar Tree for quite a while as well. And then this ribbon is from the Dollar Tree. And then I have the white chalk paint. And then I also have this. This is from Hobby Lobby. No, I'm sorry. It is from the Dollar Tree. And it's just acrylic metallic paint, and it's called Tulip Pink. I thought it was really, really beautiful. So I picked it up. And then I just sanded that really well. And then wiped it all off really good. So there's no little crumbs and bits and pieces getting in your paint. And then I took the white chalk paint and I just painted that, the whole piece, but not the back. And this heart is pretty rough too, so I sanded that down and wiped it all off. And then I'm just going to take this and I put 2 good coats of this on here. And you guys, this color is so beautiful. If you like pink and you like the metallic paint, pick this up from the Dollar Tree. It goes on really nice. I did have to put 2 coats on it because metallic paint is a little bit thinner. You can kind of see through it. You have to add more, but I just love this. It's just gorgeous. And so I am going to put Mod Podge all over that, but trying not to get it on the sides at all. And a huge thank you to all of my subscribers. You are amazing. Once I hit 2,500 subscribers, hopefully before June, I will have a giveaway. And also, if you're stopping by, a warm welcome to Homeward Studio. I do thrift flips, Dollar Tree decor, budget-friendly decor, seasonal decor, and so much more. So if you like this kind of stuff, come join my Homeward Studio family. It's free. And all you have to do is tap the subscribe button and bell notification, and you won't miss a thing. And it helps me out tremendously. Thank you. Okay, so after I put the white paint is dry, and then you put the Mod Podge on, and when that is completely dry, then you take whatever, if you have like decoupage paper or napkin or tissue paper, then you lay it on here. And this is the technique that I like to do all the time. And then I just take my heat press, and this is a little iron from Walmart that my daughter got me like 2 years ago for Christmas, and I love this thing. It's just amazing, and this technique is amazing too. And so after that's ironed on, then it just reactivates the glue. So it'll press the napkin right into the glue. It's just beautiful. There's almost never any wrinkles, and you can redo it if there's wrinkles on it. So obviously I'm just cutting the paper and trimming it off here, and then I'm going to go over the edges here with Mod Podge so that it doesn't lift. And you could go over the whole thing with Mod Podge if you want. I usually don't. I do the edges quite often though. And then now I'm just going to rough it up a little bit here by sanding it down. And I have my Titebond quick and thick glue. And you could use wood glue or E6000 or whatever on this too. And I'm just going to glue this heart right in the middle. And I don't know, I love this piece. I love this pink paint. I can't tell you enough. So yes, pick it up if you like pink and you like to paint. So now I just have some very, very thin white ribbon. And I've had this for a long time. I have no idea where I got this, but I know you can get it anywhere. And I made just a little shoelace bowl, glued it on there, and now I'm going to take this coordinating ribbon that goes so well with my napkin. I'm just going to wrap it around the handle and just hot glue it on the back. And yeah, that's it. I think this just looks so cute. And I know it's kind of more Valentine's Day, and I've been trying to do a little bit more neutral, but I love this piece. I just really do. I have a bunch of ribbon from the Dollar Tree. Here's that coordinating napkin. I have this little, it's like a yardstick, and it didn't have the stake with it. For me, it was perfect. And the cashier's like, but it doesn't have the stake. I'm like, no, I would take the stake off anyway. So it saved me a bunch of effort. So anyway, I have some flowers that kind of matched the flowers in the rain boots. And then I have this wood round. And again, some Mod Podge. I usually remove the tag and not cut it out because I was thinking I was going to use it again, but I didn't in this situation. And yeah, I just put too much Mod Podge on here. Oopsie. But I do have one of those like little ketchup and mustard bottles. I need to put my Mod Podge in there because I could control it more. But so you put the Mod Podge on, because I did this earlier. You let it dry, and then you can put the napkin on, parchment paper, and then the heat press. I showed you that little imperfection. That wasn't a wrinkle. That was an imperfection. And the napkin, well, they're Dollar Tree napkins. What do you expect? But they're beautiful. And I hit it with the boots. And now I have these letters, and these are the little like fuzzy ones from the Dollar Tree. They come in like white, black, blue, and red or something. And I just put spring flowers down there, and I want the bow to be in the middle, so that's why I kind of spread them apart like that. And so I'm just eyeballing this and sticking them all down. Don't need to hot glue them or anything. I think they'll stick pretty well to this napkin here. And now I have E6000, and I did get these keys. They come in a pack of 3 on Amazon. I think they were like $10 or something like that. Those are really, really nice. I have it for my like Gorilla Glue and my E6000, and yeah, it takes all the hassle out of trying to get every little smushing all the glue up to the top. So this is a little trick if you can't get your caps off. My husband taught me this. You put a rubber band around it, and then you can pop it off. So I'm putting a little bit of E6000 on both sides of these pieces and some hot glue on both sides of these pieces too, because I want this to be elevated. And now I'm going to hide that little blemish just perfectly. I just have my sander here and pressing it down because you know hot glue on metal gets really hot. So that's why I did that. And now I grabbed a bunch of ribbon. I just looked at the flowers and the boots. So I have yellow, orange, blue, and purple. I didn't get any pink ribbon. And I just kind of made a little messy bow. I wish I would have made it a little bit bigger, but I was trying to not cover up the letters in the words spring and flowers, so that's why I made it a little bit smaller. And then I glued it on top, and then I just put a little sprig of purple flowers that was in my stash from the Dollar Tree. And then I took some yellow ribbon and I just made a little hanger for the back of it. And now I have these butterflies from the Dollar Tree, and I thought, this just needed something little bit extra. And so these are paper flowers. They sell in the sticker section. And I just popped that butterfly on there. I bent up the inside leaves, and yeah, this is it. And I think it turned out really pretty. As always, let me know which one is your favorite. And I know I sound like a broken record, but I ask you guys that all the time because I really truly want to know, like, what's working for you guys, what's not working for you guys. I have this egg from the Dollar Tree. I got it last year. I think they had carrots and eggs and bunnies. They're really nice pieces. And I have the napkins from Marshalls or Home Goods again. I'm a collector of napkins. I have so many napkins. I have those eggs. Do you think that's a lot of eggs? Yeah, I got to make something with those. That'll be coming up, I'm sure. I have the butterfly sticker, some green foliage from the Dollar Tree. I have the chalk paint in plaster, Mod Podge, and then the distressing ink. And I'm going to give this egg one coat, the whole entire egg, the front, the back, and the sides. And a huge thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you and all of your support, your likes, your shares, your kind comments. You are what make my channel, and you are what makes my channel grow. And if you're not subscribed, welcome to Homeward Studio. Please consider subscribing. Join my Homeward Studio family. It's totally free, and all you have to do is tap the subscribe button and the bell notification as well, and you'll be notified every time I post a video. I do thrift flips, budget-friendly decor, and so much more, and I thank you. Okay, so now after the egg is dry, I take and I put a coat of Mod Podge on that. And then I make sure that the Mod Podge dries as well. Very, very dry. And now I take, and this is a 3-ply napkin, and I take and I rip off. The first ply was easy. The second ply, I really, as you can see here, I am struggling trying to get this off. I end up ripping the napkin, and I used probably 2 or 3 napkins. Finally, what I did is I left the second ply on. I figured, you know what, we're just going to see, what happens here. And it worked out fine. Then I took my water pen and I went around the bunnies here because I wanted that ripped edge look. So I scraped it all away with my little tool from the Dollar Tree here. And mind you, it's still 2-ply. So I put the parchment paper on top of it where I had to position the bunnies. It says Happy Easter below that, and I wanted to see that, but I wanted to put greenery under it. That's why I pushed the bunnies way on top there. And so I put it on this dry egg, and then I just took my heat press, which, as you probably all know, it just reactivates the Mod Podge and it kind of presses the napkin right into it. It's just such a beautiful idea. Whoever came up with this is like my favorite thing in the whole world to do. And then after I just trimmed off the edges with the sander, now I have this Distress ink in the color Vintage Photo. And I'm just going around the edge, and then I thought it needed a little bit in the egg, so I took a little teeny bit on a brush and I'm just distressing it some more. And here's that foliage. I think it's just called green foliage from the Dollar Tree, but it's really nice. And I just took off or clipped off a couple little pieces here to put on the bottom. I actually put 4 on the bottom. I was going to use moss, but I decided instead, because moss is messy, to glue 4 pieces on here because I wanted it to look like really, really grassy, because I'm going to put some of those eggs, that big bag of eggs I had, I'm going to put a couple of those eggs in there. So I just hot glued them down, and because they're leafy, I had to kind of push it down so it would stick into the hot glue. And then I'm clipping these little ends off, and then I realized, oh, they pull right out very easily. So I have 2 of the darker yellow ones and a lighter yellow egg, and I'm just gluing them right onto the grass there. And then I have this, it was in my stash. I've used it several times before, as you can tell. And I just wanted, it looks kind of like baby's breath, so I just kind of wanted to put a little bit more in there just to give it more interest and more dimension. And I popped 1 piece in between both of these eggs. Yeah, there's that egg bag up there, you guys. How many do you think is in there? I want to say upwards towards 50 of these little teeny eggs. I don't know. I think sometimes I go to the Dollar Tree and I think, oh, I don't have any of these. And then I come home and I put them in my stash. And then I forget. And then I buy more. And now I have a ton. So let me know what I should make with those, because I need to use those up. Anyway, here is the end result of this piece. And I did put a larger bow on top of this, and I also put the little butterfly on that too. And I think this turned out so sweet. This is super easy. I picked up one of these frames, a 5x7 from the Dollar Tree. I love that wood looking grain, even though it's plastic. I have a bee napkin from probably Marshalls or Home Goods. I have this bee. It's like a chalkboard on one side. Those are from a Dollar Tree. You get a pack of them. And I do use, not that ribbon, but I do use a pale yellow thinner ribbon. Okay, so I'm just taking the frame apart, and the glass in the frame was dirty, so I did have to Windex that. I'm taking this all apart, and I was going to Mod Podge this, but there's really nothing to Mod Podge it onto. I can't do it on the cardboard because there's holes in it, as you can see. And so I am just going to remove all of the plies from this, and I'm just going to glue stick it right onto this paper here. It's just a thin piece of paper that came with the frame. I thought, well, I'm going to try this. I've never glue sticked or used a glue stick with a napkin. It worked okay. There was a little teeny wrinkle in it, nothing major. The The problem that I had was the crease in the napkin. I couldn't really get that out. You really can't see unless you get up close. And I'm just smoothing it out with my brayer. And then I'm just going to cut off all of the excess here. And now I'm just going to put a little dab of hot glue on the top and the bottom here to hold this paper in place on this board here. Because once we put it in the frame, it's going to push it down. I just didn't want it to move as I was working on it. And I took this bee, I didn't have to paint it or anything. And I'm just gluing it right down to the center of that. And then I have a little teeny bow, a little yellow, pale yellow one I put up there to disguise that hole. And now I'm just going to pop the frame back together. And you guys, that's it. Super simple, super easy. This is so cute for a shelf sitter, or you can put it on a table next to some greenery or a candle. I love this. It's kind of country farmhouse-ish, and I think it's super, super cute. And it just took like 5 minutes to make. Sorry about my finger in the way there. I didn't notice it until after I was done. And this is a wall hanger, and most of these pieces are from the Dollar Tree. I have 2 nice thick chunky mushrooms. Here's a square hanger. And of course, these are not from the Dollar Tree. I have Crackle Medium, probably from either Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and I have chalk paint in the color Truffle and plaster, and those are from Walmart. I have the mushroom ribbon from the Dollar Tree and some moss. Now I paint this board in the color Truffle, just one coat. I paint both of the mushrooms in the color Truffle, the sides and the top, but not the back, and just one coat. Now I have the Crackle Medium. When the paint is dry, I just took the Crackle Medium and I put it all over the top and the sides of just the 2 mushrooms. And while those are drying, I have the plaster chalk paint, and I have a dry brush. And I put paint on the brush and wiped a little bit off on a tissue, but you know, I kind of have a heavy hand. I have a tendency to do that because I like it that way. And I just go from one side to the other with the brush until I get it, you know, how I like it. And now I have the blow dryer, and I'm just making sure everything is dry. And when the Crackle Medium is dry on the mushrooms, I am just giving it one good coat of this plaster color. And I'm putting it on the sides too. So what you want to do is start at the bottom and go all the way up, and then start at the bottom next to that and go all the way up again. That's the best way to do it. Don't paint over it, because you'll paint right over the crackle, because it will start cracking right away. But the only way to undo that is to do the technique all over again. And while that is drying, I thought it needed a word like home or welcome. And I have some Waverly celery chalk paint, and I'm just giving these one pretty good coat. And those letters are from the Dollar Tree, the little wood letters. And now while those are drying, I'm going to glue this on. I have some Titebond quick and thick glue. And then where the glue is not, I will put hot glue for the temporary hold until the other glue can dry. And I just press both of those on there really well. And if you put the hot glue on top of the Titebond I think it cancels it out. I've done it before and it didn't work, so I had to take all the glue off and start over again. So don't mix them. And I don't know if they're toxic. They probably are. I don't know, but it also smells horrible. So don't do that. Okay, so now after the mushrooms are glued on, I'm just going to glue the welcome word on here, and I start right in the center. I just eyeballed this, but I put the C, and that's the center letter is C, and then I glued it on right in the middle. And then after you do that, then you just go from the inside out. So after C, the O, and then next to the C, the L, and so forth and so on. I hope that makes sense. This is so quick and easy, you guys. It just really, really is, and I think it turned out so awesome. I love how the mushrooms have the crackle on them, and if you know me, you know I love me some crackle. So, yeah, and they look kind of like real mushrooms with the crackle on them. So anyway, I just glued that moss all over the bottom and on the bottom of the tip of the mushrooms to make it look like they're growing out of the moss. And then you can pop that hanger right back in. And this is what it looks like, and I'm really happy the way this turned out. Perhaps my favorite one. I don't know, it's either that or the boot. You let me know which one is your favorite one. Put a comment down. So I have maize and truffle chalk paint. I have some Mod Podge. And I believe I got this from Michael's. It was on sale. It's really pretty ribbon. It was not cheap. Might have been like 20% off, but I loved it so much I had to get it. You know, I just had to get it. And of course I have all these flowers, and I have this metal piece from the Dollar Tree. And I have this very large pizza pan that was $5 from the Dollar Tree Plus section. And some black acrylic paint. Just regular black acrylic paint. Okay, so now I'm just going to take a whole lot of this chalk paint, and I'm just going to put it all around the pizza pan, the top and the sides and everything. And I know it looks kind of weird, and I know it's not going to stick right now, but that's okay. I just put on a pretty thick coat, and then I dried it with my blow dryer, and then now I'm going to put a really good coat of Mod Podge around the whole entire piece here. And while that was drying, I took my black acrylic paint, and while I love this sunflower metal piece, I just didn't like the green welcome part of it. So I'm just going to paint this over in black. And so, you know, a lot of pieces from the Dollar Tree, or maybe some other stores like Dollar General or whatever, they look cheap because of the colors that they choose. Always keep in mind, you can always paint something. Always paint it. And I thought it just popped after I painted it black. So much nicer. So I put 2 more coats of the maize color chalk paint on that pan, and then topped it off again with another coat of Mod Podge. In the last coat, I used the Dapper sponge, so there's no brush strokes for the third coat. And now I'm just taking this, and I measured it from my wrist to my elbow, and that's a tip that I learned from Olivia's Romantic Home. If you haven't checked out her channel, love her. She's one of my favorite crafters. Go check her out. I'll put a link in my description box below for her channel if you haven't. And so you take it, and then from your wrist to your elbow, and then you wrap it around. I only wanted 2 little pieces, or 2 little puffs, or 2 little, like, you know, circles to come out. And so I wrapped it 2 times. And then now I'm pulling those little pieces out, and I'm just dovetailing them. And of course you saw me put the little, oh, I can't talk today, the zip tie in there. And then I just hot glued that down. This ribbon, I just thought it looked so great with this maize color. I'm just so happy I picked it up because I was like, it wasn't really on sale. I mean, it was on sale, but it wasn't really cheap. But sometimes, you gotta splurge, right? You gotta splurge. So, and it's not like I don't have a lot of ribbon. I have a ton of ribbon. I have like 3 tote boxes of ribbon. That's a lot, you guys. Anyway, I just made some tails and I dovetailed them and twisted them around at the top and then glued them underneath that bow. And then now I want to keep the tails away from this metal piece here, so I'm just gluing them down. I just put a really teeny tiny dollop of hot glue on there so you don't see the glue through the ribbon. And now I have this, I don't like this glue either. I'm having a struggle with glue these days. This is kind of an outdoor type of, it's kind of like a caulk and kind of like a silicone glue, and it says you can use it outdoors. I don't know, I haven't tried it, but I'm going to put this outdoors and I want this to stick. So it's metal to metal. So first I set this down and I put that around, and then I put hot glue to give it that temporary hold. And now I'm just taking rope because it looks very messy, and I'm just going to hide all that glue down there. And I hope this works. I think it will. And that piece in the middle, I think it's a knife sharpener. It's like really, really old. It's a vintage knife sharpener or something. I don't remember even where I got it from, but I've had it for a long time, and this is the perfect weight. So I'm just weighing that down because the metal piece, the metal pan and the metal piece together do not sit flat. So I had to weigh that down to make it sit for the glue to dry. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, so I just put the rope around there like you saw, and I took the 2 end pieces and kind of meshed them together and put some hot glue in there. Pushed them together with my spatula. Then I took the truffle paint and I dabbed it around the outside of the pizza pan, as you saw. And now I'm taking some floral foam and I just put it underneath the bow because I'm going to put some flowers on either side, and this one's going to go right in the middle. And then I left a little stem on the back of this. Usually I clip those off, but I wanted it to sit in the floral foam because I didn't want to just glue it onto the metal, because while it will stick for a little bit, it will probably fall off or melt off. I'm going to put this on my backyard, and I can't show you because it's a cold day. Yes, it's Memorial Day weekend. It's very cold in Michigan here. It's in the 40s, and it has been raining and cloudy for the last 5 or 6 days, I think. It's crazy, you guys. I'm ready for some sun, And as you can see here, I'm just putting these sunflowers on here, and then I have this fern from the Dollar Tree. I'm clipping them down. I kept one long on either side, and then I clipped some of them down, and then put them underneath the bow there on the top and on the bottom. So there's 3 pieces on both sides. And this is what it looks like. And, again, like I said, I really love this piece. I want to hang it on my brick outside. I'm not sure how to do that, but I know my husband will know how to. And hopefully, if I can remember, I will show you what that looks like. But right now, this is just in my house on my little table that I always film on. And this is, if you can find these larger pizza pans at the Dollar Tree Plus, this is definitely a large project, and it will it'll even look good inside the house on a wall, or, put rope on it, glue rope on it, glue it really well, and you can put it on your front door. And this is quick and easy also, but I love this piece, probably my favorite one. Let me know which one your favorite one is out of all 3 of them. I asked my mom, I showed her pictures, and she liked the last one the best. So anyway, here's what you need. I have the wood round. I have the window stickers from the Dollar Tree. I have this, I think it's an infinity scarf. I've had this and I don't know. You can customize this because they have all kinds of scarves at the Dollar Tree, but I have that piece. I really liked it. I have the star, and I have Waverly chalk paint in the color white and truffle, and some E6000. So again, I'm just removing the hanger, and I'm going to save it. And now I just take the truffle chalk paint and I'm just painting it all over here. Just one good coat. And then I dry it, and now I'm going to distress it with white. That's why I only put one coat on it, because I'm going to distress it. So I don't want to waste my time, and I don't want to waste my chalk paint. So when I distress things, it's only one good coat. And then I'm going from the top to the bottom, and then the bottom to the top. And, you know, like I always say in all my videos, I love distressing pieces. I just get such satisfaction out of it. I really, really do. I enjoy this. And I have kind of a heavy hand when it comes to distressing things. But I like that look. And then now I'm going around the edges as well. And then I'm making sure that the holes to hang this are on the top, and I'm putting this around the side. And I did this because I don't know, I didn't want to cut it all up, but I like the double fabric in the front, but on the back, if you do make this, I would cut off the excess material in the back, because I do end up cutting it off to use it as a hanger, and you'll see in a second here. But I pulled that really tight and then just hot glued it on the back. And now I'm going to scrunch it up in the middle. And I have some jute, and I'm just going to tie a double knot right in the middle there. And so now I'm going to turn it over, and I'm just going to pull it tight on the ends there, just to kind of clean up the edges there. And here's where I cut off the extra material, because I do want to make a handle with it. And there's just no rhyme or reason. I just cut off a piece. You can use anything. You could put the jute back in it, but I thought I wanted to do something a little different. So I just took this and I kind of rolled it up, and I did have to put tape on the ends because its material was harder to get through that little tiny hole. So I just put the tape on the ends and then pulled it through. And I had to use my little needle nose pliers there to pull it through. And then now I'm just going to double knot it on both ends. And then cut off the extra material there. Now I have the star. I want the tassel left on the bottom, but I cut the jute with the beads up. I cut that off on top. And then I had to clean up the back because there was a lot of jute on it, stapled on it. So I had to kind of clean that up a little bit because you could see it through the top of the star. Now I'm going to glue this on, but it doesn't lay flat. So I have a couple little cubes here. You get a pack of these from the Dollar Tree. You can use Jenga blocks. I just had to give it some lift somehow. And I like the cubes because they're smaller and you don't see them as much through the top of the star. So I put E6000 in hot glue and put the cubes on the back. And then I put E6000 again on the cubes and some more hot glue. And I don't mix them. And why? Because I've noticed that sometimes it cancels out the glue and then it'll pull right off the piece, but also sometimes the fumes are terrible. So I just press that on there. And I love how that tassel is hanging down. It's just something a little bit different. Then I took this window cling that says America on it, or America the Beautiful, I think. And then I put Mod Podge on the back of that and then stuck it down here, and then I'm going to put Mod Podge on the front of it. And I'm just kind of pressing down those ends there. I don't want to put Mod Podge on the whole entire piece. Yes, and I cleaned up my glue so it didn't dry on my mat. Sometimes I get terrible with cleaning the paint off my mat and everything, but I'm trying to do it right away now. And so this is what this looks like, and this is, again, probably my favorite piece. I love, love, love this piece. This is quick and simple. And to make this, here's what you need. And actually I went in another direction because I'll show you why. But I have like 3 of these boxes in my stash from the Dollar Tree. I believe the napkins from the Dollar Tree, but I don't use that. I go in a different direction because I was going to put the napkin on the box, and I'll show you what happened. But I did use the sandstone Waverly chalk paint, and I didn't use the truffle, but I didn't use the picks either. So I'm just going to have to show you what I did, because I was going to put the napkin on the box and then decorate it all nice and cute, and then as I was trying to remove the star, I'll show you in a second, it pulled the wood up and it ruined it. There was no way, see that? Yeah. Oh well, so I had to go in a different direction, and I'm just leaving this mistake in here to show you guys, like, we all make mistakes and it's okay. Give yourself some grace. Go in a different direction and have some fun. So I decided I'm still gonna paint this, and I had some yep, there's my head there with my castor oil glasses on, I'm sure. Anyway, I had some leftover scrapbook paper from, I don't know where from. I think maybe Hobby Lobby, but I had it at least for a year. And I just traced it out so I can fit it on the box here. And I just took my little glue stick here, and I'm putting glue all over it, and I'm just gonna put it right on top of that box so you won't see the little gouge in the middle. It's not even a gouge, it's like a big chunk of wood came out of it. So, you know, obviously I couldn't put the napkin on it because it would wrinkle and buckle and bubble, and you would see that. And I have my rotary tool, and I'm just cutting off all the extra paper, and that's what that looks like. I love this paper, I really do. I'm pretty sure it's from Hobby Lobby. And now I'm going to distress it really, really well around the edges. I want it to look very distressed, very worn. I have the Distress Oxide, and that is in the color Walnut. And I'm just going around the edges really well, getting the corners and the edges. And now I have this little piece here. I've seen them at the Dollar Tree this year, but they had them last year too. Yeah, I have like 5 of them. They have a white one, and then they have the orange ones here. I have no idea why I have 5 of them, but I'm gonna try to use them. I'm gonna try to use all of my fall stuff. I don't even know how many boxes I have of fall crafts, probably like 8 totes. That's a lot. And as you can see, I just glued it right onto the middle of that. So this is a cute little shelf sitter, or it can be a tiered tray piece. And I removed the little raffia bow. Now I'm gluing it right back on. And my buttons that I use all the time, my little wood Walmart buttons, I use them, and it seems like I don't know, I use them a lot, and I'm so glad I got them. They were a little pricey, like $10 or something for that container, but there's a lot of them in there, a lot. Anyway, this is what this piece looks like, and I think it turned out so stinking cute. What do you think? this is what I thrifted. This gold pot or container. It says $1.99, but it was more. It was only 99 cents. So they had a big like shopping cart, and it was full of things that were 99 cents each. And I sifted through that baby, and I got some really good treasures. Anyway, I took the mineral chalk paint here, and I gave that 2 really good coats. And then I took this pumpkin here, and this is from the Dollar Tree, and I gave it a coat of moss chalk paint. And I got rid of the stem because we're not going to need that. And now I came back in with my dabber here because you could see the brush strokes, and gave it one more coat. And then now I'm taking the dabber with the same mineral chalk paint, and I'm going to dab it on this pumpkin just to give it a little bit of interest, I guess. And here's what that looks like. I'm really happy the way this turned out. I think it looks so cool. And now I have some Mod Podge, and this is the glass. And I painted those pearls. Those little like half pearls are from the Dollar Tree, and some of my footage got distorted, so I know you know how to paint, so I didn't show you that, or I didn't need to show you that. But I did paint them with the moss chalk paint, yes. And I thought it was just too, I don't know, dull looking because it's a chalk paint. So I put glossy Mod Podge on top of that, but that didn't really do the trick either. So I have this it's like an iridescent, it's a folk art color shift metallic paint. And this is called Silver Flash. So I put a quick coat on that. And then when I dried, I took these pieces off here. As you can see, I already started it, and I'm just finishing it for you. And I'm just putting it on the pumpkin from the top almost to the bottom, because we're not going to see the bottom. We'll be gluing that. So I wanted the white pumpkin or the cream color pumpkin to have the green little pearls on it. And then I want the green pumpkin to have the cream color or like off-white pearl stickers. Now, these don't really stick really well. I mean, they do to get the job done temporarily. If you're going to do or use these on anything, I would put more of a better glue, like a super glue or an E6000 or something like that, to get them to stick. And hot glue I don't think would work real well because it's just too, bubbly, thick, and I also think it would be really easy to burn your hands. So anyway, I'm just putting these all around the pumpkin. So we got the green ones on the white pumpkin and the white ones on the green pumpkin. And now I have some Rub and Buff, and that is in the color Gold Leaf. And I'm using my finger to put it all over the stem. I thought these pumpkins turned out so pretty, and I just had a hard time looking at that plastic stem, so I had to do something with it. Although I liked the style of it, I just didn't like that you could see, it was plastic. And so now I'm just taking this pumpkin and I'm going to glue it right on top of that pot, which I turned upside down. And then this pumpkin on top of that one. And then I have these leaves. They come in a big pack of different colors from the Dollar Tree. I like the shiny ones here, just to give this a little bit of pop of glam. So I put a couple leaves there. And believe it or not, they matched perfectly. And then these were just things that were kind of in my stash. I had these berries, so I'm just going to glue a clump of berries on top of the leaves there. And then I took another leaf and I glued it on the top of the pumpkin as well, the top of the top pumpkin. So I got these beautiful ribbons. I don't know how many there are, 4, 5, 6, I think maybe. And it was from Hobby Lobby. They were 40% off of $3.99, and I glued it on top. And it just, I just love this piece so much. And you'll see I glued another leaf on top of that. And then you'll see on the bottom here that I put pearls around the top of the container and the bottom of the container, and I think that just made the whole piece. And here's the before and the after. So okay, last but not least, number 3. Here's what I thrifted. Also was in the dollar bin. And while this piece is cute and everything, it says $1.99, but I did get it for $1. It was in pretty rough shape. It was pretty scratched and beat up. So I have this Fusion, and the Fusion is a mineral paint, and the color is called Woodwick. So I'm going to use that to paint the piece. And then I have this decoupage paper from Roycycled. It was in my stash. It's a plaid, just a plaid decoupage paper. I have a couple candlesticks and some pumpkins, and I swapped those burlap pumpkins out for some velvet pumpkins, as you will see. So now I just took the Fusion and I just put a coat on top of where the words were, because I'm going to put the decoupage paper on top of it, but you could see the words through the decoupage paper. So I painted just one coat on the front and the back, but the sides I don't put paper on, so I put 2 coats on that, and then I left everything else just the color black. And then when that's all dry, and you do have to seal the Fusion because it will scratch off. So, and I think if you put water on it, I think that it will take that off too. So I am sealing it, but I have this liquid patina, which is like a decoupage medium, and I put that on there because I'm gonna do the parchment paper heat press trick again here. This is so much easier than just, decoupaging and putting like I use liquid patina here, which is a lot nicer than Mod Podge. I think it's not as gummy, I guess. It's more like butter. But yeah, so don't do what I did here. Cut the paper first. I thought, oh, I don't know, I guess maybe I was getting a little lazy and thought, you know what, I'll cut it after. It was a pain in the butt, let me tell you. In here, I am just sanding the whole piece too, just to, roughen it up a little bit, clean up the edges and everything. And now I take these 2 candlesticks, and they are the metal ones from the Dollar Tree. They are the same size. And I believe these are the taller ones. And now I'm just going to take the jute and I'm going to wrap it around the cup of the candle holder here, all the way up to the top. And I did it to both of them, and see, it's nice and fuzzy and hairy. So I took my lighter and just burnt off all the extra hair and all the little glue spider webs or glue webs, and that cleaned them up very nicely. Now I always save my picks, and these leaves here, I don't even know what kind of flowers are on them, but I just had these in my stash, and I thought they'd be perfect for the pumpkins. So I just pulled them all off, and now I'm just gonna hot glue them right onto the bottom of each pumpkin. So I put 6 around the bottom of each pumpkin. And I had a couple extra ones, so I'm going to glue one on top of each pumpkin. I did the same thing to both of the pumpkins. And then I had these flowers in my stash. Just had a few of those, and I thought a flower would look cute on top. Plus it also matched that paper perfectly. And I thought it needed just something a little more, so I have the pit berries from the Dollar Tree, and they're the green and white ones. And I wrapped it around the pencil and then pulled it off and just kind of bent it in the middle and glued it on the stem there. And now we're ready to put it all together. So I took the 2 candlesticks, plopped them in the box, threw in some Spanish moss, and then I have these lights from the Dollar Tree. They look blue, they're actually clear, but I don't know why they filmed blue, but they are clear, they're white. So it looks a little goofy here. But yeah, and then I just glued the pumpkins on top there on the candlesticks, and this is how it turned out, and I love this piece. Let me know which one you like the best. I don't know. I like my first one, the topiary, but I also like this one too. And the sparkle sign, I don't know, just something different. Oh, and I glued a leaf on that too. As you see, I thought it was too bare, I guess. Here's the first piece. It is a lantern with a manger in the middle of it. And here's what I thrifted. These pieces are glass. They're not crystal, they're glass, but they're beautiful. They were only 49 cents each. So I got all 3 of them for, excuse me, not 3 of them, all 6 of them for $3. So the 3 wise men, Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus. I also thrifted this plate here. I love the edging, and that was $1. And so I'm going to start by taking this iridescent glitter in the Mod Podge, and I'm going to put the Mod Podge around the top of the plate, not the whole plate, just around the edges here. And then I sprinkle a generous amount of glitter, and then I let that dry. And then after that, you can spray that with hairspray to keep that, to give it a better hold. Okay, then I took these ornaments, and they are from the Dollar Tree, the star and the bells. I think the star ornament comes in a pack with like 6 or something in there, I don't know. And it was just too plasticky looking, too bright gold and shiny. So I took some Rub and Buff. As you can see, it makes a difference a lot. It tones it down and just makes it look almost like metal. But anyway, I took the Rub and Buff, and I put it all over both of the bells and the inside, and also all over this star. And then I put those to the side to let them dry. And I have that lantern, that gold one from the Dollar Tree Plus. It was $3. And I have these picks from the Dollar Tree, the holly and the poinsettia as well. And I have this light pack. I know they sell these at the Dollar Tree too, but mine were from Amazon. I got like a pack of 12 for, I don't know, $10 or something. I am just going to start by wrapping this around all of these sides. I put a little dollop of hot glue there to hold the light in place, but when I started wrapping it, it kind of got tangled, and I had to pull a little harder, and it pulled off. So instead, I used tape in various places, and then when I'm done, I remove the tape, and then I hot glue that on there. Then I took the little pack there, the battery pack, and I just hot glued it on the side. And now I took a little foam piece here I just had in my stash, and I just put a little bit of hot glue on. You see it fell, but I put a generous amount of hot glue on there, and I would also use something else to make it stick, because you know it's hard to get hot glue to stick to metal. It just won't. Now I am just putting these poinsettias, one on top and one on the bottom and two on both sides, and then I'm filling it in with all this beautiful holly. And these are all from the Dollar Tree. Some of their stems are gorgeous. And I'm going to put some in the back there too to hide all of that foam. And now I have this ribbon. I believe it's from Costco. I got it last year, but I was there recently and I know they have the same ribbon. It is a velvet wired ribbon. It doesn't look like velvet here in the video, but it is velvet and it's beautiful, really easy to work with. I just made an awareness bow and then I thought it needed another couple bows. So I just made a circle, squunched it up in the middle, and then tied it together and then hot glued it right in the middle of the flowers. And now the stems that were left over, I just took them off of the pick and I just ran it through the little hole in the top of the star, and I did that with the bells as well. And then I just twisted it because we're going to poke these right into the foam. So if you take your flowers off of your picks, save some of those because you can use them in ways like this. So after I twisted them around there, I just put some hot glue in there and let it dry so it was sturdy and not floppy. And now I'm just poking it right into the foam here. And then I hot glued the glass manger, or not manger, the pieces in here.
Okay, that concludes our video. I hope you had a very Merry Christmas, and I hope you have a very, very happy and blessed New Year. And I will see you very, very soon. Have a blessed week. Bye.